There were 3 little engines who lived in their own little shed on their own little railway. Their names were Duke, Stuart, and Falcon. Duke was the oldest and was named after His Grace, the Duke of Sodor. He was proud of this and loved to keep the little engines in order. Whenever they did anything that Duke thought wrong, he would say, "That would never suit His Grace." Stuart and Falcon used to call him Grandpuff. They were fond of him, but they got very tired of hearing all about His Grace. Sometimes they would tease him and chant, "Engines come and engines go." "Scallywags," Duke would say, "whatever are you engines coming to? You'd better mind, unless you want to end up like Smudger." "Oh, Smudger," said Duke, "was a show-off. I warned him to be careful, but he took no notice." "We do hear," I said, but Smudger just laughed until one day manager said he was going to make him useful at last. Smudger stopped laughing then. He turned him into a generator. He's still out there behind our shed. He'll never move again. After that, Stuart and Falcon became really useful engines, and all 3 were happy together Then hard times came, and the railway was closed too. People came to buy the engines. No one wanted Duke. They thought him too old. "We'll find you a nice railway, and then you can come and keep us in order." Duke's driver and fireman oiled and greased him one last time. They sheeted him snugly and said goodbye. Then they had to go away and find work. Duke was alone. "Oh, well," he sighed, "I'll go to sleep. It'll help to pass the time." You wouldn't have known a shed was there, let alone a little engine asleep inside. He lived with 2 young engines called Stuart and Falcon. They teased Duke and called him Grandpuff, but they were happy together. Then their line was closed down, and the young engines went away. Duke was left alone in the shed. He went to sleep. "We want to find Duke," they said, "and make him happy again." "Excuse me," inquired Duke, "are you a vandal? Driver told me vandals break and smash things." "Bless you, no," laughed the rescuers. "We've dropped in because we couldn't find your door. Falcon and Stuart will be pleased to see you." "So they did remember," sighed Duke happily. Then they all set off for Duke's new home. "He's here," they whispered. "You woke me up," grumbled Duke. "In my young days, engines were... Keep me in order. Be off with you. Impudent scallywags." A large painting of Duke hung in the engine shed. They worked with Duke on his old railway, but Falcon still had a lot to learn. "Listen," warned Duke, "the mountain road is difficult. I'll lead." "No," replied Falcon, "I'll lead." "Suit yourself," said Duke, "but never mind the view. Look at the track." The engine set off. "Look at the track," puffed Duke. "Never mind the view." Fuss pot," replied Falcon. "Fuddy-duddy, fuddy-duddy, fuddy-duddy." The engine speed grew slower and slower. Don't dawdle, urged Falcon. No hurry, puffed Duke. Soon they approached a tunnel. Falcon didn't like the tunnel. It was curved, and he couldn't see. I want to get out, he sighed. One moment, everything seemed safe. But then, suddenly, Falcon was derailed and hung dangerously over the edge. Duke bravely held on with all his strength. "Stop shaking," he called. "I can't hold you if you shake." Duke's driver and fireman worked quickly to make the two engines safe again. Then came more trouble. "Water!" cried. All the while, Duke was building more strength. At last, with everyone's help, he was able to pull Falcon back onto the rails. Then they started off once more. The manager was waiting at the top station. He apologized for the accident. "Your Duke," said the passengers, "is a hero." Falcon was grateful too. "Thank you for saving me, Duke. I don't know why you bothered after I'd been so rude." "Oh, well," replied Duke, "you just had a new coat of paint. It would have been a pity if you'd rolled down the mountain and spoilt it." Duke is the hero of all the engines. This is a story about him. It happened long ago when Peter Sam was called Stuart and Sir Handel Falcon. Many people came year after year to see the mountains and the lakes, and most of all, Duke. He always pulled his train, even on days when he didn't feel well. "I mustn't disappoint my friends," he would say. Every morning he took his passengers up the line and stopped anywhere they wanted. "Beep, beep," he whistled. "Please be ready when I come back for you. Otherwise we might miss your boat to the mainland, and that would never do." One day, Duke didn't feel well. He was short of steam and needed to rest. His driver and fireman had just finished clearing his tubes when Stuart bustled in. "Hello, Grand Puff," he teased. "Are you short of puff?" "Nothing of the sort. This is routine maintenance." "We must take care of you in case you break down." "Whoosh, Duke. That'll be the day." Duke couldn't stay cross for long. It was a lovely evening. "Couldn't be better, couldn't be better," he chuntered happily. They began to climb, but Duke didn't mind. "I've plenty of steam," he puffed. "We'll be up in a couple of puffs." But soon, Duke's puffs changed to wheezes. His valves were leaking steam. "It's not so easy, it's not so easy," he croaked. "But I'll manage." At last, they reached the station. Falcon buffered up in front. "Poor old Grand Puff, what a shame you've broken down." "Beep, beep, beep." "Are you ready?" whistled Falcon. "Yes, I am," replied Stuart, and away they went. When they reached the next station, the cavalcade split up. Falcon took Duke's passengers to the boat. Stuart headed Falcon's train, with Duke coupled behind. "Fancy me rescuing Grand Puff. This is the day, this is the day," he boasted. "Poor old engine, poor old engine." But Duke still had plenty of steam left in him. His valves sounded worse than they were. He and his driver had their own little joke ready. They waited until they reached the hill. "Now," said his driver. Duke puffed and roared as though he was pushing the whole train's weight before him. The noise echoed everywhere. they reached the last station, everyone cheered. Cloud of steam. Duke wheezed alongside. "Poor old engine," he teased. "It's no good, Stuart. You can't win." The lakes and mountains have many visitors, and Harold the helicopter flies the sky. He wanted to run and looked forward to meeting Duncan. They found the caboose and some workmen and hurried up the line. Duncan was filled with admiration. He didn't know that "My funnel feels wobbly," he complained. "I wish manager would hurry up with my new one. He says it will be something special." "You and your special funnel," laughed the other engines. They were fond of Peter Sam. "Look at his steamroller wheels," they joked. "Be quiet," snorted Sir Handel. "You're jealous. Did you hear that?" huffed Sir Handel. "My wheels are special, like Peter Sam's funnel. I can go faster than any of you." Skarloey had a plan to make Sir Handel see sense. "Listen." "Don't worry," said Sir Handel. "We'll run for his money." He talked of nothing but he's worse than ever. "I'm sorry my plan was no good." Some boys arrived instead. Rollers now. The next day, Rheneas came home. All the engines were there to greet him. Small. Everyone was happy, and Rheneas was the happiest of all. "You know," he whispered to Skarloey, "this helps a little engine to feel that at last he has really come home." To Sir Topham Hatt. "I'll send up the workmen," he said.
The signalman had forgotten to warn his driver about the crossing. The signalman had dozed off. Oliver whistled several times, but the signal stayed red. The signalman warned the station master at the next station.
"Keep me in order. Be off with you.